morning, champions, and welcome back to another edition of On the Lake with Jake. My name is Jacob Westman, and I am cruising around Lake Minnetonka looking for some of the most powerful and precious features of the Minnesota landscape, the Indigenous burial mound. Before I begin, I gotta be honest and tell you that I am not an expert on this topic. Frankly, I'm not an expert on any of these topics. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt, and make sure you do your own research. Links will be included in the description below. Long before the Ojibwa and Dakota peoples roamed this land, earlier societies existed. The Woodland and Hopewell eras stretched back over 3,000 years, with individual tribes and peoples connected by trade routes and some shared or similar cultural practices. Information on these groups is limited, but what we do know is that they were prodigious mound builders. Mounds were built for several reasons, including religious, ceremonial, burial, and even residential. Upon seeing these massive earthen structures, early settlers couldn't conceive that these mounds had been built by the ancestors of the very people they were attempting to extinguish. Many created stories about races of giants or lost Middle Eastern or European tribes in order to explain their existence. The Lake Minnetonka area has been a magnet for communities and cultures since the glaciers packed up and moved north. Our area is full of linguistic clues to that past. Minnetonka, Minnetrista, and Wayzata are all versions of Dakota words. But our land used to be rife with the physical evidence as well.
No way!
Yes way.
There are currently 11,000 prehistoric and early historic indigenous earthworks and burial mounds cataloged in Minnesota. But there were thousands more that were destroyed through plowing, road construction, and vandalism.
Bogus. Heinous. Most non-triumphant.
This includes one of the most impressive burial sites on Lake Minnetonka, the Malmsten Mound Group, formerly located along the high bluffs on Lake Minnetonka's westernmost waterway, Halstead's Bay, in Mound, Minnesota. The area was first mapped in 1883 by Theodore Lewis, when he recorded 69 mounds of various shape and size. In 1947, archaeologist Lloyd Wilford of the University of Minnesota excavated mounds numbers 59 and 66 on the eastern end, noting that almost all mounds to the west were no longer visible. The same is true for other large groups of burial mounds that were located along Bartlett Avenue and Cooks and Phelps Bay. In the 1880s, there were 524 mounds were mapped at 48 different sites around Lake Minnetonka. Only a fraction of them remain today. Tourist brochures at the time actually encouraged visitors to check out the sites and see what they could find. And the great Peter Gideon, namesake of Gideon's Bay and of wealthy apple fame, was an avid amateur archaeologist, taking friends and family to plunder the ancient sites along his property. Until one day, after one such desecration, he became violently ill. A fever dream took him to a dark place, gripping him for almost a week. And in that dream, he saw the face of the man whose sacred place he had disrupted. When he came to, he returned the artifacts and swore to never destroy another grave again.
Excellent!
When I was a kid, my brother and I didn't play cowboys and Indians. We played Indian and Indian. We built teepees, we made bow and arrows, and set traps. Our high school mascot was the Mound Mohawks. And when the school opted to change the mascot to the moderately charged Whitehawks in the late 90s, I was upset. I didn't want to be a Whitehawk. I wanted to be a Mohawk. I didn't see the point, and I heard and regurgitated arguments against that change. It's non-offensive. It's honorific. And the classic, well, what do I feel? A few years later, I realized that what may have given me a little bit of false pride was undoubtedly hurting the actual pride of so many more. My few years of wanting to be a Mohawk didn't overshadow the generations of people that actually are and were Mohawks. My youthful stance didn't come from a place of hate or malice, but of ignorance. I didn't even know what I didn't know. My transition to this understanding didn't happen overnight, and it continues to this day. But that doesn't mean that society needed to wait for me to come around. Sometimes the world moves on and it's you that needs to catch up. And as things seem to be happening faster and faster and faster, some of us will struggle to keep pace. I urge patience with those people. We were all ignorant about something at some point, so we should all have some understanding. There is no question that the ancient indigenous mounds along the lakes and rivers of Minnesota, where for thousands of years people have buried their dead, are among the most endangered, most beautiful, and most culturally important places in Minnesota today. Today, I share these stories, not because it's my history, but because my story intersects with these histories, and they cannot help but become a part of my story as well. I appreciate your presence, and hopefully you are working to make your presence even greater. So remember, friends, be happy, stay healthy, and let's preserve some history. Cheers.
It's you.
Yeah, it's us. Who are we? To say something. What should I say? Make something up. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes! Good one, dude. Well, gotta get back to our report. Yeah, we take you with us, but it's a history report, not a future report. Later. Later. Let's get back and do our report. Good idea.